Now to breaking news out of Uvalde. 2 years to the day since the deadly Robb Elementary School shooting, and families of some of the victims filed new lawsuits today. There are 3 defendants in these lawsuits.
So, this is what we're doing. We're going back to the 90s, where we're blaming video games for the actions of psychopaths.
They include the gun company that made the assault-style rifle used in the shooting, as well as Instagram's parent company, Meta Platforms, and the maker of the video game Call of Duty. The companies are accused of partnering to promote and create content that they say glorifies gun violence, that effectively trained the teenage shooter who opened fire at Robb Elementary. 19 students and 2 teachers were killed that day. Today's lawsuits come days after the same group of families filed a $500 million lawsuit against Texas DPS officials.
Forget the fact that this shooter's mother was probably just as psychotic as he was.
The mother of the Robb Elementary School shooter was arrested in Oklahoma City after she allegedly threatened to kill a man. That's according to police.
Jail records show Adriana Martinez Reyes was charged with assault and battery and threatening to perform an act of violence. A report from Oklahoma City Police states an officer was called to a home after a caller reported Reyes was threatening to kill a man.
No, let's sue a gun company and a video game company and a social media site because this woman raised a psychopath. The level of stupidity and lack of accountability in this lawsuit is mind-blowing. But why stop at mind-blowing stupidity? Why not go for complete insanity and sue the maker of the truck he used to drive to the school? Or sue the maker of the clothes he wore that day? Better yet, let's sue the job or the person who gave him the money in the first place to buy a $2,000 plus rifle while being in high school working a day shift at Wendy's. Or wait, since we want to be in Bizarro land, why don't you sue the shooter's classmates because he would get severely bullied and made fun of a lot and was taunted by others for the clothes he wore in his family's financial situation. People would actually call him school shooter and stuff like that. This lawsuit is such BS, and I'm sure everyone knows it. However, what most people don't know is that the largest, most powerful anti-gun group in the country, Everytown for Gun Safety, is behind this lawsuit. I don't have proof, but I believe Everytown got these families together and sold them a dream of making a bunch of money from suing everyone they can remotely attach to the Uvalde shooting in some way, regardless of how dumb it is. This gun control group is taking advantage of people for their own goals. Gun groups have been trying to figure out a way to sue gun companies out of existence for decades. They first tried to do this by suing any gun company whose gun was used in a crime. These goofy lawsuits got so bad, the federal government had to step in and create a law called the Protection of Lawful Commerce Arms Act. This law protected gun manufacturers and dealers from being sued if someone uses their gun to commit a crime. Now these groups are trying to backdoor their way to these lawsuits by claiming they're not suing the gun company because the shooter used their gun. They're suing the gun company because the shooter was manipulated into buying their gun and doing this shooting because of the way the gun company marketed their gun. Yes, this is a dumbass argument, but tactically it's actually kind of brilliant because the argument itself doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be for a different reason other than the shooter simply used this guns made from this company. They're not trying to win. They're trying to find a way to bring the lawsuit and then bring another lawsuit and then bring another lawsuit and then bring another lawsuit in order to bankrupt the gun industry. That's how this works. You may have a strong case and know you're gonna win, but you still gotta pay the money to fight it. And let me tell you, lawyers ain't cheap. Ask me how I know. I assure you they're not paying this attorney. This means the attorney on this case is working on a contingency, which means they get a percentage of the money if they win the lawsuit or reach a settlement. The typical contingency percentage is 25% to 40%. I am almost certain it is 40%, and that's not including the costs and expenses for handling the case. Then there's the taxes on the money that you may get from winning the lawsuit or getting a settlement. Yep, you still gotta pay taxes on those as long as it's not a physical injury. And all of these people bringing this suit weren't the people who were physically injured. So any money they do get will be taxed. Then you have to split what's left among all the parties involved in the case. This lawsuit involves nearly 19 people and the class action is nearly 30. The person who stands to gain the most in this case is the damn attorney, not the families, allegedly. These families are getting bamboozled by the anti-gun groups and the attorney, but that's what happens when you try to sue people don't have anything to do with what happened. Daniel Defense didn't Amazon Prime their gun to the shooter's house with a note that said, "Do it." The last I checked, Call of Duty doesn't have a portion in the game where you can school shoot. And for all of the goofiness that Meta likes to engage in, they have nothing, literally nothing to do with this psychopath deciding to shoot up a school full of elementary kids. It's this kind of passing the buck of responsibility that you have people like this shooter who decide to shoot up a school because of this deep-seated sense of entitlement. And what example do we set for the next possible shooter? We tell them that if you decide to do the same thing, it won't be their fault. It will be the fault of the video game company and the gun company and the social media sites, and the cycle will continue, and we'll have no one to blame but ourselves because we're too busy looking for scapegoats instead of dealing with the root issue of psychopaths raising psychopaths. Now, speaking of raising, hopefully the vast majority of people watching this video will do a damn good job of raising their kids. Father's Day is coming up, and because Father's Day is coming up, I'm having a sale right now at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Right now, when you use the code DADDAYT, that's with the letter T, you'll get 15% off of your purchase. And if your purchase includes a t-shirt, then you will also get either a white CN Colion Noir t-shirt or a white homosexual t-shirt as well. So head over to shop.mrcolionnoir.com right now and take advantage of the sale before it ends. Hurry up now. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.